The checkered flag comes out here in Portugal. Miguel Oliveira wins at home for Tech 3 on the KTM.
It is an unique track on the calendar. It's one of my favorites for the layout and for the obvious reason that is a Portuguese track.
It's a track that I would say is still developing. You know, it's such a, we know of all the elevation changes, all the lines, the different lines that you can use around that place. So as the riders become more and more used to it, the challenge changes all the time. So it's quite a peculiar track, because normally we go somewhere and the guys suss it out in a couple of hours and it's sorted, you know. But from year to year we go there and go, oh, we didn't expect this, or we didn't see that, you know, because the guys find their way around it a little bit better, find the little secret tricks to it and stuff, and then they change what we're doing also, you know.
It's a track that you need to get a rhythm and a flow going into it, because it has a lot of up and downs and it's a lot of blind corners, so you need to get more of a feeling rather than a specific reference to brake or to turn.
What you see also in the races is that craft where I said earlier that you know where you're going, you know, so when you pass you go somewhere different, you know, you have to attack on a different part of the track, and then no one really knows what to expect. Is there an extra bump out there that you didn't know? Is there, how am I going to line up the next corner? Because everything's so connected that you end up getting yourself in a little bit of a no man's land, and you think you passed the guy, but then all of a sudden he cuts underneath you. So it's quite a fascinating place because it's so blind, you know, it's many of these blind places, and I think the public and the people don't understand what that means at that speed, and that, you know, these guys are so precision. They sit on that 1 centimetre of track, but all of a sudden that centimetre is somewhere different, and that brow, you come at a different angle on the brow, everything changes for them, you know, and that's the key why this place is always so peculiar, that they go faster every year and they develop different ways of doing the lap time.
From the bike point of view, it's challenging because we have to manage a lot of power without a lot of front contact, and still have the bike which can turn and have a lot of stability for the braking. So it's definitely a challenge, and I feel that the rider can definitely outperform what the bike might lack in some areas.
It's a fascinating place on the fact of the load it puts on the tyres. This is one of the key things that make you go fast or slow there, you know, so you need a lot of support from the tyre, because we have the elevation changes, we have the G-outs, you know, where you come, but the tyre load is inconsistent. This is the key for the rider to get that feeling of how to go fast, you know. You really need to try and find a way to keep the load on the tyres in a good way, but not overload them, because if you overload them, they become very, very soft very quickly, you know. The other key, of course, is that because you put so much temperature and load into the tyres, you got all this long corner. So you got the right, then you got 1, 2, and then you go 3, you flick over to the left for the first time. So this is always a corner where you again see the problem with the front and the guys lose the tyre, you know. So all these elements add to trying to find a good balance that gives the guy the confidence. So for me, it's more about understanding the tyre enough to get this load, to get this feeling for the guy that he can ride there.
At the end of the day, my track record at Portimao is not fantastic. I have 25 points out of 75 possible there, so I'm definitely looking forward for this season to turn things around and actually do a better job.